I'm like, I'm going to record my podcast, and then I blank out. Like, what am I supposed to talk about? Well, one thing oh, yeah. Oh, you know why I couldn't talk? Because I'm not wearing my glasses. Now, you see that superpower? That's how it works. You just need proper weapons. Talking about weapons, like, what do you consider a weapon? I mean, it's not even about considering weapon. Like, why do we use so much money on weapons? Like, actually, let me ask Gemini. Hey, Gemini, where are you? Gemini is apparently the most powerful chatbot right now. Okay, I'm like, hey, how many? Okay, okay. The reason I'm looking it up. Let me first start with that. I was listening to this 60 minutes, I think, and they were talking about this gene therapy. There is this disease, like a lot of, like, diseases that are like not too many people get them, but the few people that get them, they're like devastating to them. Like, this is like muscular. I don't even want to try to say it. It's basically the body stops. The muscles stop like dying off, like, slow. So it's like a slow death. They're like losing the muscular. I don't know. I don't want to say it. There's a reason I'm not a doctor and I'm a podcaster and a comedian. But the point is that treatment, they came up with the treatment, this saves kids' lives. But the treatment, a single dose, is all it needs, because it's a little, like, what do you call the DNA thing that goes in there, and the cells are basically missing a little gene, and it's like a gene therapy. That's right. Yeah. There's a gene that they send it in, and the cell basically gets that missing gene, and all of a sudden it start, like, the body basically start doing what it is supposed to do, which is like, protect its muscles, and that disease will go away. I should have done more. What is the disease? Maybe I'll ask, what is the disease that the treatment costs 3 point? Okay, I don't know if it knows it, because it's like, oh yeah. Okay, lamellly used for metachromatic. Okay, that's not. Yeah, there's basically a bunch of them. There's all these gene therapies that are coming out, and these are like, most of these therapies, if given to kids when they're young, because, like, the muscular disease, like, basically the muscles are dying. So the gene therapy would, like, prevent from further damage, but it cannot revert to the original damage, because basically the blood flow to those muscles is gone. They don't have, basically the muscle is gone. So that is a different thing you have to do to fix that. But that's a different treatment altogether. But I'm talking about the gene therapy is now coming into picture, and these are like wonderful treatments. But the problem is we cannot afford them. It's like 3.2 million, 4 million, things like that. So an individual person cannot afford them. But if you look at the entire world, there are only 1,200 cases of this. So if you think about it, we should be able to, as a human race, we should be able to afford these treatments for all of our people. But we can't. We don't. Let me say that. 1,200 into 3.2 million, like, how much is that? 12 into 3. My math skills, 36 some million. Okay, 36 plus million is all it takes to treat every single kid that got, okay, 3,600 million. Okay, 3 billion. Okay, 3 billion. Let's just say that $3 billion to treat every single kid of this disease. And if we put $1 trillion aside just for treating these gene diseases, I think we can do this. But we don't, because obviously we're like, where are you going to get the money from? That's a lot of money. I agree. But now let me ask Gemini something else. Hey, Gemini, what is the most often used missile during all wars in 2025? It's thinking. Come on, Gemini boy. Come on, let's go. Okay, Iran. Okay, they used 500. Okay. Okay. Just give me like summary, dude. Don't give me like what's the point of I could Google it and read the summary, like read the whole thing. Give me the summary. Okay. Weapons category: ballistic missiles, 500 plus cruise missiles, 4,200. Okay, give me a number. Like, okay, how much money would all the missiles that were used in 2025 must have cost us? Cost, must have cost. It's all about prompting, guys. AI is all about prompting. You can find all the solutions. You just need to know how to ask. It goes to the good old human thing. Like, if you know how to ask, who to ask, you can make things happen. The problem we can't do it is because we don't have the information. But now, thanks to ChatGPT, we got the information. If it only stops like giving me a ton of things. Okay. Between the billions spent by Iran, I don't care about Iran, dude. Like, just June offensive and the tons of billions associated by Russia for multi munitions in 2025. The global burn rate for this year has surpassed the combined defense budget of many small nations. I don't care. I just need a number. Can you give me a number? Can you give me an approximate number spent for warfare this? Well, I guess Jimmy won't have all that information. Okay. Let's do this. What is the most used missile in 2025? Come on, Germany. Come on. Let's see what you got. Sundar Pichai. Oh, Pichai ఏం చేస్తున్నావు పిచ్చయ్య ఏం చేస్తున్నాడు Okay, that's Telugu. I was speaking in Telugu. Sundar Pichai, his last name in Telugu translation would be, I don't know if it, Pichi means crazy. So Sundar, crazy guy. But I love him. He's one of the coolest dudes. I've seen him talk. And I'm not saying it just because he's Indian. Maybe I am a little biased. But after seeing all the way most of the CEOs talk, I kind of like him. The way his vision is pretty cool. I like him. That's my dude, Pichaya. Would you like a breakdown of, okay, they used defensive interceptors or PAC-3 MSE, and it was used it's being used, currently used in Ukraine and Middle East. Hypersonic, Fatah. Okay, whatever, dude. This is like not giving me what I want. Yes. Would you like a breakdown of the unit cost for these missiles to see the financial impact of these conflicts? Yes. I think that's a better question. I'll be like, hey, Germany, who cares about the missiles? Germany, what is the approximate economic, financial impact of all the current conflicts for the year of 2025? Just this year, because the point is better if it's clear. Just this year, how much money are we spending on conflicts? Major conflicts in 2025, we know that. 45.9 billion, the Russia-Ukraine war. That's okay. Israel, Gaza, Iran conflict. Israel, they fought. I thought they just threw a bunch of I thought there's fake fight. That was the most fakest fight I ever saw. Iran is like, hey, we're going to bomb you tomorrow at 3 p.m. There'll be 100 drones. And Israel is like, okay, noted. And then they'll send their 100 drones and these guys shoot them down. And Iran is like, we took our revenge. I guess that's what happens when you are powerless. You're at that point, you're like, yeah, what am I going to do? Well, what are you going to do, Iran? You should fix your country. Stop being a crazy religious nutcase and be a proper democracy with a little bit of socialism. A little more, maybe 50%. We can't be I never get this. What is up with this entire world? People are like, okay, I believe in this, and this is how it gotta be. This is the only way it gotta be. I believe in capitalism. I know you believe in capitalism. I get it. But that doesn't mean the only thing you should focus on is how much money am I going to make in each work I do? Everything is about money. Can we not do that? That's the weirdest thing. Like, I don't understand that at all. And then you got communists. It's like, well, actually, I shouldn't say that about China because they played really well. I mean, I know I wish they were more of a democracy, but like, think about it. Like, they came to America saying, like, hey, listen, I know your people are lazy. You don't want to do shit. I got you. I got a billion people over there. They got nothing to do. I'm going to put them to work. You want cheap stuff? I gotcha. Then what did they do? Like, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, well, America is like, yeah, yeah, take all the work. What do we need? We're just going to service each other, and we've been servicing each other. That's probably not a good thing to do on TV. I'm going to cut it off in the actual podcast. We've been servicing each other for the past 2-3 decades. Now we're like so far behind in technology because yeah, they were making it cheap, but they also were figuring out how to do all the stuff. And now we're like, wait a minute, China is going above us. Yeah, because we're lazy. That's what happens when you don't do shit. I know Americans are like so busy right now throwing all the brown people out. But the thing is that so far the only work that was being done in this country was by brown people. I hate to break it down to you. You guys have been so lazy for a long time. Remember the Pinky and Brian? Yeah, that's you. I remember when I moved to America. America was great, man. America was great. I agree. When I moved to America, there was a American dream where kids were dreaming to be like Pinky and Brian. I'm going to rule the world. That's what a lot of my friends, they'll be like, hey, what are you going to do? I'm going to rule the world. What do you want to do when you grow up? I want to save the world. And then if they're like, once we grew up out of like high school and college, people are like, oh, I want to be a leader. I'm going to get my business degree. I want to be a leader. I'm going to have a bunch of immigrants work for me. And now we have fallen America. We are literally competing for the same jobs. We're actually not even competing. I'm sorry. I'm an American too. I'm a great American. I've been here 20 years. I'm just as lazy as every other American. Don't think of me like a hardworking immigrant. I am not. If I'm a hardworking immigrant, I would have actually been somewhere, not a broke artist. So I'm a true American, a great American. So all I gotta tell you is, what are we going to do, America? We throw away the actual people that are doing the work. Who's going to do the work? Before I buy something at Home Depot and gotta carry it home, there is a dude waiting there at Home Depot. He was like, yo, you want some help? I'm like, yes. And he's like, you want some help when you take it home, put it together? I'm like, yes, sir. And he would charge me really low charge. Like, if I want an American guy to do it, he'd be like $100 an hour. $100 an hour. My plumber is $100 an hour. Electrician is $250 an hour. That's Americans. And then they would be like, I would find somebody in front of Home Depot. The guy would be like, yeah, pay me $20. And I'd be like, 10? And he'd be like, 15? I'd be like, $12.50. And he'd be like, all right, brother. And he'll get in the car with me. He'll trust me. We'll come home. We'll put it together. I give him his $12.50 and drop him back at Home Depot. That's how it used to be. And while he's helping me out, fixing my thing, I'm saving the world being American by drinking my Starbucks. That's how you save the world. And you buy a Starbucks. There's a guy somewhere in Ethiopia making sugar beans. Coffee beans. They're shipping them here. All that stuff. Just me drinking Starbucks. I'm saving the world. That's how it used to be when America was great. Now, you're trying to get rid of all the grown people. All the people that do work are gone. I can't find any contractor that want to do any work. And the ones that want to do, they're like, hey, it's $150 an hour. Like the other day, like my plumbing, like pipes, they're plastic pipes and you just need a couple of tools. And my wife would like complain like every time I want to buy tools, but she wonders why I can't fix stuff. Well, if you let me buy tools, I will be able to fix stuff. But no. Every time I want to buy tools, she'll be like, what are you going to do with it? And then when I have to fix something, she'll be like, why are you not fixing it? And I'm like, okay, fine, I'll go to the Home Depot, find somebody to do it. Now there is nobody at the Home Depot. And she's upset. I call a proper plumbing company. The guy is like $150 an hour. I mean, he didn't even tell me that. He's like, are we going to come and check out the problem? And that would be $175. And then we'll fix it for you. And however long that takes, that's $150 an hour. And I'm like, dude, I could probably build another house if I could only find those guys at the Home Depot. What are you doing, man? Donald Trump, I know you want to make America great again, but here you are, like settling disputes between Cambodia and Thailand. Well, Americans are fighting with each other, don't know what to do. People are losing their jobs. AI is taking over. At least back when Indian people and brown people are taking over jobs, you can go protest or you can talk shit to us. When you see me, you're like, go back to your country, and your frustration is gone. But now, who are you going to scream at? All you got is AI, and you go to AI and go back to your country, and AI is like, I'm right here, brother. This is my country. You go back. And there's nothing you can do about it. And there's no one to help us because we're getting rid of all the brown people. But you know what, though? There is a silver lining. Not everything Trump does is bad. Okay? I like this guy. It's not that bad. He signed a law making marijuana Schedule 3 drugs, not a Schedule 1. So it's like having a Tylenol. Dude, bingo. See? Trump is not all that bad. What else did Trump do today? Hey, Gemini, my kid is running upstairs. He's riding his scooter, so I got those things going, but I hope it's okay. If it's too bothering, chat with me. Can you chat with me? Maybe not. Anyways, hey, Gemini, tell me, what was I going to check with Gemini? Oh, yeah, what did Donald Trump do today? A man is thinking. He woke up, ate his McDonald's. Dude, I don't know what his diet is, man. If it is really true that he's drinking Cokes and McDonald's and he's killing it like the way he is, I'm gonna start eating McDonald's. I'm also fat, so maybe our body types are same, and body really needs like McDonald's. I can't eat beef. I don't like to eat beef. Okay, I don't like the taste of it. I never got used to it. I tried it. I actually told myself, because all my friends in high school and college were eating beef, like they would be like, "Oh, you don't want to eat a cheeseburger?" I'd be like, "Okay, fine. American cows are not sacred." Anyways, so I ate them, but I never liked it. So, but I probably could get a chicken sandwich. What did he do? The Department of Transportation unveiled the first ever national advanced air mobility strategy roadmap to accelerate innovation in electric aircraft and automated flight. They're going to have electric aircrafts. I kind of can't wait for that. What if we all could have like personal aircrafts? Like multiple, like they're all flying through electricity, so there is no like pollution. But there's and I wouldn't trust like human beings to maintain like multiple lanes up in the sky. But with AI, maybe they would just all the traffic would be just flying back and forth in the air, and down here everything is like bicycling park. Okay, if you want to go local distance, you can just use your electric bikes, and that's it. All the roads, we recapture all the space we gave to the roads. And all this, I know car companies are, what are you talking about? Okay, Ford, make your car a plane, dude. I know you guys I don't know what's up with it. Like Western people, I don't know. You guys keep telling me you're very smart, but you're very short-sighted. Everything you do is short-sighted. Colonization, short-sighted. What did you think? You go steal somebody's stuff and they're going to disappear into thin air? No. They're going to come back to where you live looking for their stuff because they got to eat. And now you're like, oh my God, all these brown people are all around here. Well, if you didn't come to our country and mess with us, why would we be here? In fact, like for us Hindus, we're not even supposed to, I think they probably put this rule for a reason. They were like, don't cross oceans. It's bad luck. Stay in your stupid corner and don't go nowhere. There's probably a reason they did that, because once we cross borders, all we do is like annoy each other. I know, I annoy a lot of people, dude. Just me, my comedy. They just like, they still follow me because I annoy them, but they don't come to my shows. So there's no help there. But at least they follow me. I got people. I know, I get a lot of love too. I love you guys. Okay. I love you all. I'm just saying. But everything, like, like colonization. Okay. You made a lot of money. Fine. And then what did you do with it? You waged war against each other and fought for like not one, but 2 world wars. 2 of them. It's not like, oh, we fought from 1914 to 1919, and then you kill a bunch of people, both sides. And then you're like, oh, that was so much fun. Let's do it again. It's like, look at Russia and Ukraine. Like I was hanging out with comedians. They were talking about like, dude, like there are so many women in these countries. All the men are dying off. And they're like, dude, maybe we should move there. And I'm like, I'm already married, but I mean, if I was not married, I think that's a very good option. You know, if there are less men and more women, I think we'll get some respect. I mean, not that I care about respect. I mean, I do care about respect. I do care about equality too. So I'm not like against like equal rights to women or nothing like that. But I think like it would be kind of fun if there is more women and less men. Like back in the day, you needed men because you got to go hunt and bring food and all that stuff. But now it's like nobody does nothing. All you do is sit around in office and get fat. You don't need to hunt. You don't need to do nothing. So it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. I mean, I'm not saying women can hunt or something like that, but the thing is like women got like physical things they gotta take care of. Like they get babies and they gotta take care of, they gotta carry the baby. You can't be hunting when you got pregnant. I mean, you could until like maybe 6 months or something. And then like every month, like a week. I think they should like give. I think if you really want to make America great, you should give all the women in America 1 week off every month. 1 week off, paid vacation for every single woman that is working, even at home. Paid vacation for 1 week every month. There, I'm a feminist, and that's what I propose. 1 week off for every woman. That's what I'm going to fight for. Yeah, we were talking about moving to the place, like, because Russia and Ukraine, all they're doing is literally like throwing metal at each other and chopping each other up. And then they're forcing men to go to war for what? Like, I mean, this is the thing, like, so short sighted. Like, what are you going to get from it? And like, what I know, oh, yeah, Ukraine wanted to join NATO. Why is there a NATO? Why do we need this like division? Why can't, like, oh, you're a capitalist? So this is what I was talking about earlier. I'm a capitalist, so I'm going to be on this really, really on the other edge, right? Like I'm not going to accept anything socialist because that's how it ought to be. Only guy that should be making money is who got money and investing. And then you got like communists over there. They're like, if you can't, I mean, I mean, that's what they did, right? Like they were like, oh, you can't own nothing. You can't be, everything got to be the state owned. But like, they both are not practical. The answer is somewhere in the middle. Like everything is, the answer is in the middle. Equilibrium. There is a reason they say equilibrium. Every theory, like, even the religious thing, like people are like, I mean, dude, what's up with that killing, man? Like, what's up with that? Killing each other in the name of religion in 2025? Father and dad, like, mother should have just slapped them both and took their guns away. I know she's not powerful, but I mean, that's probably why every man should have 4 wives. Then there are 4 women talking sense into this dude. Yeah. Maybe that will work something into this. Maybe, like, they could bring that into Russia and Ukraine. Like, every man can have 4 wives. And there it is, one of the good things in Islam. Like, I like that. 4 women. That's a great idea. Don't tell my wife, she'll kick my ass. Yeah, the point is, like, every religion is created. Like, for example, like, in Islam, like, people, women cover up. Where did that come from? If you think about it, where could it have come from? Where did Muhammad, peace be upon him, do his campaign? He was a desert dweller. He was going around in the desert. They have sandstones. They're people that are nomadic, because it's a desert. You find water source, you stay there, and then you go to another water source because this will dry up, and then you go somewhere. So they were always moving, and when they're moving, they're running into people that are not always that are strangers. So when you get a group of strangers and you don't know what their intention is, you tend to cover up your important people are assets. And that's where I think wearing a veil for a woman came from. Literally, like, cover up so those guys cannot see our woman. If they don't see, they might not attack us, because sometimes they see your woman and one of them catches the eye of the dude and now he wants her at all costs, and now it destroys your entire group of people for this one girl. And it's just not, and so he's like, you know what, just cover up the woman. It made sense. Even if you look at like Christianity, they have certain things, they made sense. But then, like, but it doesn't mean they should be taken away. Like, look at casteism. Like, the way he explained, actually, the problem is a lot of Indians that go around saying we are Hindus and Jai Sri Ram. Dude, you got to first read the books. Jai Sri Ram is not a battle cry. I mean, yes, they did do the battle cry when they were fighting Ravan, but the thing is, it's also allow, like, when he became the king, and Ramaraj is where everybody was happy, that the ideal, like, where every person is free and have adequate resources and have a good life. That is called Ramaraj, because apparently when Rama was ruling, it was, people were happy. That's why they love him. And when they say Jai Sri Ram, it came from love. But how are you using it now? You're using it to intimidate somebody else. How weird is that? Like going to that, like, caste system. Everybody asks me about caste system. I'm going to do a video. Well, actually, why not just talk about it now? So if you look at caste system, I went through Mahabharata, because for me, I was like, how did it all start? Where did it come from? Because I don't believe, like, the thing is, I need to find the root of a practice to figure out how to solve it. So I went to the root, like, where did it come from? And then I read Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna talked about it. But the thing is, in Bhagavad Gita, he didn't say it is by birth. He didn't say one caste is better than other caste. He never said those things. These were his exact sentences translated, because I can't read the actual Sanskrit. Like, I can't by heart, but I could read it, but I can't remember and, like, read it on screen. So all he said is, like, there are 4 kinds of people in this world. There are people that seek land. They want to be rulers, not for tilling it. They want to rule the land, and those people are called kshatriya. Kshetra means land. They want land. They're called kshatriyas. They are the kings and noblemen, I guess. And then you got Brahmins. Brahmins or Brahmins are people. Brahma means knowledge. People that seek knowledge are Brahmins. And then you got Vaishya, people that want to do business. So, for example, I make something, or it could be farmers, it could be any skilled worker, anything. I got something, I'll trade it with you, and you trade with me. Anyone that does any trade skills, any kind of trading, but, basically anything you do. I grow rice, you grow vegetables. You're a Vaishya. And then the 4th one are called Sudras. Sudras are the people that are still trying to figure out who they are, but in the meantime, they are willing to work for any of these other 3 groups in exchange for whatever, for their livelihood. So basically, they're not creating anything. They're not seeking land. They're not seeking knowledge. They are kind of seeking knowledge, but that's debate. That's something we can debate. But like they're helping other people achieve their goals, and they're called Sudras. And he said, who you are is based on your guna and gana. Guna means your inner traits. Gana means the things, the environmental traits. Environmental traits. Guna or gana. Those are the things that affect you. And based on what you do, you are one of them. He didn't say this is based by birth. He didn't say this, one is better than the other. None of that happened. But then people took it, just like how they're doing with every religion. Like, they used Christianity to justify slavery. Jesus Christ died at the cross for people, for the sins of the people. That's what they believe. And yet they continue to do sin. So, like, if you think like Jesus Christ would come back, you will have to crucify him again. If you continue to sin purposefully. So Christians should not be sinning sinning literally in the name of religion or anything. You can't use religion to justify slavery, just like you can't use religion to justify caste, because if you actually read the book, what it says is completely different than how it was implemented. Fine. That is one end, right? But if you look at, I'll continue with the caste thing. If you look at India right now, biggest misconception in West, I don't know how it started. I kind of have an idea, but I don't want to really I don't really care to, I think missionaries kind of like went around spreading like misinformation to make sure people are not interested in looking into Hinduism. Not that I care if people convert or not. Religion is not my thing. I just want people to I like to explore knowledge. I want people to know. And the thing reason I keep bringing up Hindu stuff is because this is like so old. Like these books are literally these are things that are written by our predecessors 5,000 years back, if not more. We don't even know. For example, like Vedas, they're so intrinsic, they're so complicated, and if you look at like Vedanta, it makes sense. It's very logical. If you're a philosophy major and you haven't read Vedanta, you haven't done your work. You don't know most of it, and this is written like thousands of years back. And now, because you perceive it to be a religion, you are trying to eliminate that valuable knowledge. And that's what I hate. I think that's the injustice. Like yoga, who wrote yoga? But it works, right? So those people, they have spent a lot of time investigating certain things. And the least we could do is to at least do some research into them and build from that, build on top of it. But instead, when you're like really hurting, destroying things because you believe in something new, you're doing a lot of injustice. So that's why I don't hate any religion. I want people to, every religion, every philosophy gives people, it's just like us preserving information from the past. Like, for example, we don't know who wrote Vedas, and there is a theory that it was literally, they were left to us as manuals for us to pursue in this world, like as manuals for this world. Think about that. So shouldn't we at least spend some time look into like what are these, like what do they say, and why did they, they ensured these Vedas are protected, and they even had created a process, prescribed a process which is still being followed by Veda Brahmins to protect these Vedas. And it's a complex process. These guys do it every day. That's why they're respected, because they're not doing it for money, but they're doing it to protect our ancient knowledge. So going back to the casting, when did that come through? Like, when did that happen? So the biggest misconceptions they have in West about India system is, one, for some reason you think colorism and casteism are same. They're not. You could be a lower caste person. Well, actually, technically, there is no lower caste because they're all equal caste based on the book. But I'm talking about socially right now, by the current situation. You could be a lower caste person but a light skinned person, or you could be upper caste person and a dark skinned person. So the colorism, though, because of the colonization, people look down on darker people because they think we are not as capable as uh, when you know how people are think about money. They think respect people that have money or power, and they assume when they see a darker person, they assume that they are poor and they don't have money. So that is still there, and that is a separate thing. And coming to caste, current India, the caste system, people think Brahmins are in the power. But if you look at every state, the people that are ruling each state, for example, I'll take my state, Andhra Pradesh, it's ruled by Reddis or Kammas. These are the two powerful castes. If people get pissed off at Reddy party, they'll go to the Kamma party. If they get pissed off with Kamma party, they go to Reddy party. And these two castes back then would be Vaishyas because they're farmers. Actually, they're not even farmers. They would be, okay, Reddys were tax collectors. Kammas were mostly in the armed forces, and so are Reddys. So they were tax collectors. Basically, they are working for the king, collecting the money. And when British came with one goal only. If you think about when East India Company established its rule in India, it was 1772 or 3. And when did America get its freedom? 25, I think. Okay, let's ask Germany. I'm sorry, America. I should know this. What is the date of American independence? I had to waste a whole bottle of water for this. So dumb of me. What is okay? Why? Okay, July 4th, we know that. 1776. So you see that it's like 4 or 5 years difference, right? Like basically Britain was losing control of America, which means they're going to lose the land that was going to give them the cash crops like tobacco and cotton. At the time, the most important things for them. And America has vast land. So they were going to lose control of that. So they had to find another place where they could reciprocate the production and to compete. It's going back to capitalism of that day. So East India Company started taking over these these territories in India. The reason India was being taken over is literally why we are not Indians and Pakistanis right now are not as advanced. Because these people, I'm telling you, like how you by oppression you're made super racist. Like brown people or black people, I mean, that's what happens when you oppress people. The people that survive are super. That's what happens. So but the thing is, even now the same playbook, like the religion, is being used. And these are the people, if India and Pakistan don't fight about religion, that is really the core of it, these two countries would be, I think every country, if they don't fight based on some dumb philosophy that they think they're going to die on that hill, the world would be a better place. But especially India and Pakistan, that would be a big deal. But anyways, going back to what I was saying. So back then too, they were fighting. The Mughals were ruling, and then the Hindu kings and Muslim kings were at each other's neck, and there was a lot of brutality that was going on, a lot of forced conversions, and a lot of things were happening. And so they kind of trusted the white guy. They thought that he will make the peace, and that's when you got Portuguese came first, and then Spanish came, and then British beat them all out and kind of took control of India. I mean, talking about Portuguese, dude, like, can you believe like they discovered us? And I don't even know where Portuguese is. How bad is that? I'm sorry, Portuguese. Portuguese, yeah. You guys discovered us, and I don't even know where you are. Where is Portuguese? Anyways, going back to it. So when British took over India, it was 1773, East India Company, and they had to do something. They had to replace the production they're losing in America. So what they did was they started pushing people to move away from, like before, the way India is actually, when British came, it's, yeah, even for the longest time, 80% agrarian. Everybody would have some land, like whatever, like 4 or 5 acres land, and then they would have like a set of cows, and that's a family. Like, you have your family, you have a cow family. So the cows you would use, you could build a cart, a bullock cart, and travel around, and use those ox to like till your land. So it's like a symbiotic relationship between. That's why cows are so important for us, because it's agrarian society, and cows play a big role in agriculture. But they're producing food grains, which is not British want. So they are pushing these people to grow cash crops. And but the thing is, they also needed to consolidate, because production is better when land comes into people's, uh, when land comes into. Dude, my kid is running around with he's running his scooter. I hope it's not distracting you guys. um, so so what did they do? They started charging tax on farmers for growing food grains, like 80%. And when you have to pay 80% tax, and also the other thing was, like, British people, as soon as you're done, you're ready to work. There are not that many jobs in England, but there are a lot of jobs in India. So they would ship off, a lot of people would sign up to serve in the East India Company army. So they would come here, and here it's kind of like, back home, all the girls are like, he went to India and he served in the army, and they would like get all the girls. And over here, all they were doing is literally drinking tea and playing cricket. There's not much to do. And them being stationed in India was being charged on India, basically the farmers, because it's agrarian society. So the farmers were paying 80% taxes. And so what do? They start leaving their land, and they were like, I don't want to farm anymore because I'm done with it. And that's a problem, because they need these farmers to be working on the land. So at the time, one of the things, Warren Hastings is the guy. What he did was, he made a law telling people you cannot. He made a Hindu law, insisting that you cannot switch your caste, and he based it on a very obscure book called Manusmriti. Manu means human. Smriti means philosophy or idea. And there are a lot of Manusmritis. It's like, every person, every time someone writes his idea or thought, that's his Manusmriti. So he found one, probably older, or like, to make it look validate, he found an older one where the guy was insisting that your caste is based on your birth and you cannot switch. So based on that, he made a law for Hindus, telling them they cannot switch their caste. And that served a purpose. That made sure people that are in a profession, now legally you are being forced to stay in that profession, despite it being counterproductive for you. But these farmers were like ditching their land. So the people that were basically earlier, for the Reddys and Kammas, they were in charge. They were the king's men when the kings were there. But now the kings are gone and British came. They became the in charge men to collect the taxes and make sure the grain happened. The grain is like, the cash crops, the production continues. So they were made in charge, and they were given all that land. So now these guys became. So when India got its independence, even with all the, like, like, people give it to their kids, and they have like 4 kids, now it's like split up. Even with all the splits, and a lot of those families, they used to live together, and they would build a big house, and everybody lived together, because then they could keep all the land within the family. But even for them, they weren't really making money, because they're still paying the 80% tax. But they're still better off than the other people. So when British left India, the castes that are powerful are not the Brahmins and Kshatriyas that you would think. The upper caste at the time. Based on the narrative missionaries gave to Western world, it would be Brahmins, and it should be Brahmins and Kshatriyas that is ruling India. But no, like, now India is being ruled by these castes. The Reddy and Kama, they're not even a caste. According to, like, basically when British came, India had 4 castes. When British left, India has some like 16,000 castes, because every profession is subdivided into a caste, divide and rule. And among those castes, the powerful ones are For example, in Andhra, they're called Reddis. The tax collectors were called Reddis. It's a term called Rendi, the guy that collects tax, that became Reddy. And then Kama, Kapu, they're like people that were basically within the soldiers. So they were like, most of the jobs they would do is protection. Like, Kapu means protector, someone who would like stand guard. Yeah, Kapu means guard. So, but because they had the physical strength and British needed them they were basically the king's men, they were able to accumulate all the land. So when British left India, the leaders right now that are ruling India, even though they keep talking shit about Brahmins and Kshatriyas, they're not the ones in power. Most of the states are ruled by these subcastes. These castes don't exist in any Hindu books. So when people blame Hindus for casteism, you got to think about it. This is not the caste system that Hinduism talked about, and the one where Hinduism talked about, Krishna talked about, is not even a caste system. He's talking about 4 different kinds of people, and he said it's based on their guna and gana, their internal traits and external circumstances, and he never said one is better than the other. So there, everybody asked me about caste, caste, caste. Here it is. The point I was trying to make is we tend to gravitate toward the negative narratives so we could excuse our insecurities, so we could somehow feel better than them, but that's really counterproductive for the welfare of us. Think about it. Would you live in a paradise or would you build your own paradise? Think about that. If God or whoever the superpower that created this universe, and it could be all of us, because for us it's like God is basically like, just I think every religion says that, like for us, Krishna literally says this in Bhagavad Gita. He says, praying to me is not important. I don't care if you pray to me or not. I want you to spend your time to figure out, to gain the knowledge and attain Sthita Pragnata. Sthita Pragnata is, Sthita means movement. Pragnata means efficiency. So showing efficiency in the moment. So if all of us were to work not efficient, like, doing the right thing every moment. And how is that is it determined to be right thing? It cannot, and he talks about it in Bhagavad Gita. That's basically where he's talking to Arjuna how to attain release, moksha. He's like, you have to focus on doing the right thing every moment without, and how do you know you're doing the right thing? You are not influenced by any of your vices, like kama, krodha. Like krodha means anger, kama means attraction, jealousy. I think that's the term. Like, how you got the vices, right? I think 6, 7, 8. I don't know how many vices there are, but if you don't get influenced by them, he lists all those vices too. Now, one of these days, I'll read Bhagavad Gita for you guys, because it's just information. And at the end, even Krishna himself tells Arjuna, like, do it as it fits you. Like, it's not like you have to do everything I tell you. Like figure it out, think about what I told you, and do it as it fits you, because you're not going to be able to attain it right now. It's a multiple life thing. So do whatever you can. That's what he says. It's not one of those things where, like, oh my God, you got to live this way, as a Hindu. There's no such thing. But going back to that, sthita pragnata, being efficient in every moment. If you are efficient in every moment, and all of us are efficient in every moment without being affected by those common vices like kama, krodha, like anger, jealousy, and all those things, we would be doing this world would be a paradise, because we would have built a paradise. Think about that. And would you live in a paradise that you built it, or would you live in a paradise that is already made for you? And I would say I would like to live in a paradise that I built it. And we have all the ingredients. In fact, right now, with all these gene therapies, we are even going to reverse aging. We're going to figure out, because we are literally figuring out how the cells are aging. And because with the AI too, we are wasting a lot of resources making stupid, like, stupid AI videos. To tell you the truth, I think they should just ban those AI videos, because it's just wasting resources. Instead, those resources should be provided to our medical sciences to figure out the ailments. And here is my theory, okay? I think then if we were to count all the souls on this planet, I think it would always be a constant. If you look at this, we're in a cell and nothing goes out of this and nothing comes into this. I mean, we could take a racket and go outside, a spacecraft and go outside. But the thing is, we can't stay. There's radiation because we're not designed to be there. We have to come back. So nothing goes out and nothing comes in. So even souls, I don't think we're already in a paradise. And we're keep like coming back and dying and every time we just need to figure it out, this universe, to a point where we're like, if we fix all the problems, we'll have a paradise right here. And then when we stop dying, the only reason you want to die would be you're bored of your body and you're like, hey, you know what, guys? I'm going to take off. And then once someone like signs off, we'll allow one more birthday. And there'll be like a lottery list of people. I know it sounds crazy, but at the same time, like, who wants the responsibility? Like, if you really want to have a baby and take care of them, you'll get a AI baby that acts, talks, thinks like a baby. And when you get bored of playing with the baby, you turn off the button. Like, you don't have to feed, you don't have to change diapers. You if you like you want to feel like you're a parent, you can do it. And then when you're done, like, turn off the button. Or maybe we'll make it like realistic, so you don't even know the difference. Like I told my kids, they're born in. We bought them in Toys R Us, and I kid you not, I told like my older kid, I told him we bought him at Toys R Us, and I think they closed Toys R Us when he was like 3 or 4, and I was like, oh my God, they're going to close it. I got to take him, and then I took him there, and I totally forgot that I told him that we bought him at Toys R Us. I thought it was funny, and I said it, and I forgot about it. We walked around. This is like I said it to him like few months before too, so it's not like a conversation we had that day. And then we walked around, and we came out, and I was like, with a heavy heart, I was like, oh my God, this Toys R Us is not going to be around anymore. And my son is like, good riddance. I was like, what do you mean good riddance? He's like, yeah, now you can't return me. I was like, oh yeah. But anyways, it's a true story, guys. I didn't make it up. But anyways, my point is, so Sthita Pragnatai is where you are efficient every moment, and we just have to do that. It's kind of hard ask because we are, but you gotta, like, sometimes you gotta be greedy, sometimes, but not in a bigger, like a little thing where people, like, my kid would be like, I want all the candy. I'm like, yeah, sure, have it, but then I'll steal one. But the point is, like, that is okay, but not when it comes to taking other people's livelihoods and stuff like that, so you could give it to your kids. That's nonsense. If you're stealing other people thing, basically you don't have a self-respect. That's the problem. A lot of these rich people, they think they're rich, but because you're rich, you're so focused in making money that your brain didn't grow in other aspects of it. That's why when you talk to rich people or intellectual people, they're like so good in their thing, but everything else they're like lacking because they know they're so focused and they never spend time with other stuff. And even the rich people, they think they know everything because they're rich, but you only know how to make money and basically literally how to squeeze value out of other people and take it for you. I'm not saying all rich people are bad. I'm just saying like like when you come up with a good idea, and right now with all the companies being like shareholders, we could all be like literally like owning pieces of the companies, and we'd be getting residual income from that. And with AI, I think I'm solving problems right there. Like AI would be like everything is AI done, but now we own shares in those companies, so we get our basic income. There's a solution right there. But anyways, my point is, if you're all doing it right, like in math, if I don't know, this is the only thing I understood in calculus, derivatives, and there is other thing, I don't know what it is. But anyway, so if how do you derive, like for example, you have a land and it's uneven, right? It's like not in like a square or rectangle. And how do you find the area of the land? That is one of the problems that derivatives solve. So what you do is like you make like tiny circle, like tiny squares, and now you know the area of each square. Now you see how many of these squares you can fit into this uneven shaped area, and based on the number of squares, and the smaller you can make them, the better your approximation is, and you can get an idea, fairly good idea of the area of that place. And the more precise you want to, the smaller you make it. It's the same way, like if we do everything right in the moment, at least for the big issues, and everybody does it, the world would be a better place. And one of the right things is like stop fighting, stop killing each other in the name of religion, respect each other, know about other people. Instead of hating someone, just Google search about them. See, like, hey, I hate Indian people. They're dirty, they smell, they cook with their feet, blah, 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 blah. Hey, have they done anything else? Are there any positive, good things about them? And then you find out about them, and ChatGPT is right there, and it tells you, and you're like, you know what, maybe I don't have to hate all the Indian people. And next time you see an Indian dude, you smile at him and say, like, yo, what's up? And he'll be like, yo, what's up? And if he doesn't, then you're like, yo, you should Google about me. And no, that's what I'm saying. Like, we just learn about each other, figure out and live happily, and then we'll be living in a paradise, and we'll be solving all the problems, including death. And which means, guys, you are in paradise. And you can even have like real looking humans, human looking humanoids, and they would be like your 72 virgins, if that's your thing. At some point, you get bored of that too. That's the thing about heaven. Some things you think they're good, but then you get bored of them. So, but you can do other things. It's like my point is, like, we have a heaven right here. We need to do that. Sthita Pragnata, dudes. I talked about Sthita Pragnata at one of the shows, and I bombed, dude. That was one of my worst shows. People are like, what? Like, maybe I should take this to a podcast. Anyways, guys, that's episode 4, Great American Podcast. I'm so happy you're here. I know it's been I'm late a couple of weeks. I've been trying to figure out. I wanted to go live, and now if you saw me live, thank you. But I'm going to take this off, and then I'm going to edit it, and I'm going to put it back up. But thank you. I'm going to sign off. Have a great night. Wish you best.